You ready? Hey, grab that right there. Are you ready? Is you ready? You say you ready? Whole squad ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready? We came here to see Jeff. What you got? No, my wife. No way. What you got? I'm going to the top. You can bring what you got. I'm going to the top.
All right, man. Before they sue us for copyrights, let's get started.
Hey, welcome to our first YouTube live stream. I'm your host, Ahira Foster. I have with me my good friend and co-founder of A Game, Adi. Man, this is an extremely exciting one, man, because we got a panel of a lot of heavy hitters that play college ball, and this is an extension of our unathletic episode, the podcast, What's Your Plan B? You know, the necessary pivots that you had to make upon, you know, your dream career ending, right? So this plays for a lot, whether it's in sports or even like actual career that you're doing, like that you're trying to study for. So now it's time to welcome in our panelists, man.
Let's do it. What's the lineup looking like?
The lineup right now, standing at 6'9", was he center and power forward from San Francisco State University, Josh, Law School, Cologne.
What up? What up?
What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all having me on.
Of course, man, Josh. Appreciate you for getting on here, bro. Like, for real, it does mean a lot for you to take some time and, you know, talk to everyone about your story and what you've been able to do thus far.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys.
Of course, man. And standing at 6'8", power forward for the Cairns Taipans, number 0, Cameron Oliver.
Yo, what up, man?
What up? What's up, Cam?
What's up, bro? How y'all doing, man? My camera's not working for some odd reason, so I apologize for that. But as long as you guys hear me, I feel like we're good.
Oh, man.
Perfect.
No worries, bro. And then, Cam, bro, again, I appreciate you coming on, talking with us. And, you know, we're excited for you to, you know, put a lot of input in terms of, you remember our episode that, you know, you were part of our podcast co-host for the A Game. And, you know, we have great stories to tell, man. So I appreciate you being on here. And
That's all good, man. Thanks for having me.
For sure, brother. And then last but not least, like one of my big older brothers to me, a 6'3" defensive end from the University of Illinois, fighting alumni, Joe, God bless the frontline Fotu.
Yeah.
Welcome.
My kings. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Of course, man. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you for being on here with us, big brother. Like, for real. This means a lot for all you guys to really be talking with us. And so we're extremely excited to be able to hear you guys' stories about, you know, all you guys are played college ball, but then you guys had to make necessary pivots upon your college career to be able to make new moves, what's best for yourself and what's best for your family. Sure. So with that being said, you know, starting with you, Josh, you know, start off like telling about, you know, your background, how you got into sports, and then, you know, you and your route going into SF State.
Yeah, so I actually started playing basketball when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I would say. My dad actually played basketball professionally in India. He was an immigrant coming to America and stuff. So, you know, when I was younger, I used to just see him, you know, when he'd come back from working hard days, hard labor jobs, just watching, you know, NBA TV, you know, watching Jordan and all that type of stuff, watching the Lakers, watching Kobe. And so for me, it was kind of like a thing where it was in my environment every day. Watching my dad watch the game, and seeing him be so passionate about the game is kind of what made me, like, seeing that, it gave me like a fire, like, okay, like, this is something that, you know, if he has such passion about this, and I think that's what made my relationship close with my dad, is that was our bond. And for me, basketball was a big reason me playing basketball was for my dad, and kind of be able to have that relationship. And you know, growing up, I went to Brookside Christian High School in Stockton, California. I actually played against Cam in high school too. I don't know if you remember that, but I played against Cam in high school.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
Yeah. I played against Cam.
Who got the best of that one?
Definitely Cam. Cam for sure got the best of that one. No, ain't no question about that. But I played against him there, and I played against him when he was at Nevada, and I was at SF State as well. But, you know, I went to Brookside Christian, and I graduated. I had a lot of D3 offers. And for me at that point, I was kind of like, okay, like, you know, I didn't even think I could play like that. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm getting recruited. I should do it. And then I was reached out to by San Francisco City College. I don't know if you guys know, but they're like a pretty high-ranked junior college in the state, sometimes in the country. And so I decided to go there. My first year there, I was first team all conference. My second year there, we went 30-1, won a state championship. Played with a group of guys that are, some of them playing, in the G League right now, possibly the NBA. Had a great time there. And then I had a few offers. I think I had probably like 10, 11 offers. But I chose SF State because my brother was already playing there.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like I chose it because I feel like playing with the sibling at the same time, it's something that not a lot of people get to do, let alone being able to play college basketball or college sports in general. And having that opportunity to play with my brother and knowing that, I was going to be somebody that was going to be a main focus in that program, it's something that I wanted to do. And, I went there, and we actually, SF State was usually like a middle of the conference type of school. And when the year that I got there, my brother was the center, I was a power forward, and we went like 26-5. We broke the record for most wins in program history. Went to the NCAA tournament first time in 25 years. So, and me and him got a lot of, publicity and love for what we were doing, just because we were two brown men playing basketball and doing things that brown men usually don't do, and so being able to go through that and, and enjoy the process and doing well, it was good, man. I don't regret any of it. I had a great time.
Dang, man, you're like a Brooke and Robin Lopez back in Stanford.
Pretty
Literally, yeah.
That's crazy, man. No, thank you for sharing that, man. For real. No, we're gonna ask you more about your experience as we keep on moving forward. But like that's huge. That really is. Cam, what was it about basketball for you and your career route that you're currently taking right now?
Repeat that for me here, bro. I can hear you like that.
Oh yeah. So what is it about like for you for basketball? When did you get started? And then like why did you choose going to UNR out of all schools? And like what was your route going with that?
Shoot, man, basketball has been part of my life since I've been dribbling the basketball. Honestly, my family's more of a basketball family than anything. They didn't really force it upon me like that, just because they didn't want to make it seem like, oh, you're forced to play this sport, whatever. So it wasn't like really installed into me at a young age. We just played it, for fun, whatever. But I was more of a baseball guy and a football guy and anything. So let me try other sports. But I eventually turned 6'8", so that couldn't really
Wow.
Those sports really couldn't really work out for me like that. So basketball is a good sport for me to choose. And for the process from there, man, it was it's been a fun one. It's been difficult, but it's definitely been a great experience so far where I'm at right now. I started off actually playing organized basketball. Actually at Bancroft, to be honest with you, I didn't really play. Right, yeah, I didn't really play like organized basketball like that until I actually came to Bancroft Middle School. Then since then, I had moved from Oakland to Sacramento. Then went to a school, a powerhouse football school, to Grant High School out here in Del Paso Heights. Then it was fun being there too. It was kind of hard, playing there, just because they were so much of a powerhouse football school. So it was really like overlooked as a basketball school. So for me coming there and really kind of turn the page, and the teammates I was there, the brothers I was there with, to really turn the page around and really make them pretty much a powerhouse basketball school as well. So that was a great experience to have, man. I actually ended up tearing my ACL my junior year in high school. So that really put me through a big setback right then and there. Then my senior year, I think I just came back with all rockets blasting, so I came back really focused. I actually came back jumping really higher, which is crazy for my ACL injury. So that was a blessing to have. Then after that experience, my senior year, I ended up committed to Oregon State University. I committed to the coach, Craig Robinson, which is happens to be Michelle Obama's brother, and so that was a great experience to be there with them. But at that certain time, then he ended up getting fired over that summer. Then they actually when a head coach get fired, the whole coaching staff gets it. So that was kind of a whole difficult process for me to go through. Then after that, I actually sat out a year and got a job, bro. Started working at Dollar Tree. I started working at a call center with my wife. Man, I know 9 to 5 jobs is definitely not for me, for sure. So I had to really start working out and start getting back to it. So happens the coach that was at Oregon State that recruited me happened to get the job at University of Nevada. Then we kind of just clicked on cylinders from there. Then there was a new coach there named Eric Musselman that recruited me from Arizona State. That was there as well. So it kind of just worked out for the best of me. And on top of that, Reno was literally 2 hours away from Sacramento. So that was a good win-win situation for me. Then from there, man, this been a great experience. Played 2 years there at University of Nevada. Took my chances going into the NBA draft, went undrafted. From there, I picked up in the Houston Rockets. Played summer league, training camp, ended up breaking my hand during training camp. Then after that, experienced the G League process, went with Milwaukee Bucks G League team. Then I went to Philadelphia G League team. They ended up playing with the 76ers for summer league. Thought I was going to get signed by them. Didn't happen the way I was supposed to. Signed with Portland, training camp. Actually being out there with Dame. Dame was a great experience, man, because we're both from Oakland. We actually grew up around each other.
Big
So, yeah, that's Big Bro right there. So it was good to be around him, man, and learn that. Pretty much that's a role model to me, bro. So pick up all the little things I could pick his brain, man, and just go from there. But that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my basketball career. And end up playing with going back to the G League. Ended up playing with 76ers G League team again. Broke my ankle during that season. Then I had to set out that rest of that season. Then after that summer, ended up signing with Australia. Played a real successful season in Australia, man. That was probably one of the most successful, healthiest seasons I had in a really, really long time. And I think I really turned it out, man. It really turned heads, So I'm at the position right now, man. With this whole pandemic going on, it's kind of really throwing me through a loop. But just staying patient, staying healthy, and I'm just going from there.
Man, that's what's up, man. It's one word I really have to say is tenacity, right? The fact that we say, that real mindset to be able to go through that, because sometimes when you go through several potentially career-ending injuries, you can it can really steer you a different way, especially mentally.
Right.
I remember being through that whole entire road with you, and to see where you're at right now, still pushing because again, man, this is your plan A, and having you be able to speak on plan B on the athletic episode was invest in your plan B, right, just in case.
Right.
And, you brought a good point with that. So Cam, we're going to get back to a little bit more questions, but Joe, man, your story, has been a great one too as well. For those of you out there, you guys know about the Netflix show Last Chance U. Laney College was actually on there, and Joe Fotu was a Laney Eagle back in 2013, 2014?
2013, 14, yep.
Yeah, so and then he did 2 years JUCO, and then was able to. Well, I'll let you tell your story, man. So
no, for sure. Yeah, man. So coming out of high school, first time I ever played football. And then get on the sound right there. Okay, but start playing flag football out at Bancroft, and then went through some family from some family trauma where my mom forced me and my brothers to get into to football, just get contact football, stay distracted from whatever's going on with our family. So I got into football my freshman year in high school, and ran off with that, and ended up going JUCO route. Went the JUCO route, went to Laney, did 2 years there, ended up going to University of Illinois, and from there had my great time up there. Well, we'll talk about that later. But went to Illinois, finished up there, then went into coaching right after as a GA under Lovie Smith, and then did that for 3 seasons. And now I'm back here trying to start something of my own. And that's how I got into sports, though. Just kind of a little glimpse right there, brother.
For sure, man. But like one thing that's really cool about that, right, as well, you actually went back and got your master's at the University of Illinois.
For sure.
And then I remember telling you through an interview that you were one of the first Tongans to attend the University of Illinois.
I'm actually the first Tongan and only Tongan to attend the University of Illinois and got my graduate. For sure.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then you went back to so. And then the thing is, I remember when you worked up the street from me when I was at LinkedIn, right? So you're a technical recruiter, and then that's that. And like, how did you get into technical recruiting from there? But then from now, you're running a brand called Frontline that's blowing up, especially over this whole pandemic. It's been blowing up.
It's nothing but genuine love. You know what I'm saying? That's been showing the brand. But I got into tech recruiting. One of my good friends, his name is Naeem Zarif. He's from Alameda. But when he saw that I graduated, I started getting on LinkedIn more. He started seeing that I was trying to look out for jobs. So he reached out and was just like, hey, instead of recruiting, for high school athletes, come out here and recruit for, some engineers, come recruit for software engineers and things like that. And I was like, you know what, let me check that out. I met up with him, had a few sessions, and he just kind of made it so simple to me, drew it up on the whiteboard, was like, this is what you do as a recruiter, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let me get into that and try it out. And I did it for a year, enjoyed my time as a tech recruiter. And, I wouldn't trade it for nothing, but, I can't see myself, being back in an environment like that for now, but that's how I got into the tech recruiting and just been kind of, staying on LinkedIn and seeing, where the tech world, with the trends in technology, things like that. But that's how I got my foot in the door with tech recruiting.
That's what's up, man. No, and I think that's great to hear that. I think the next question I have for you guys is like kind of taking a step back, right? Like kind of you guys first started getting into the sports that you guys were growing up playing. Was there like an athlete that you guys kind of patterned your game around or kind of like you drew inspiration from? Like was there a particular athlete that stood out or was it just like you just the love of the game you just kind of adapted to that?
I'll let y'all go.
Yeah. Are we going in order?
No, this is anybody.
I'll just go first, but I think for me it was kind of just like a love of the game thing at first, and then as I got older, I feel like my game models a lot around DeMarcus Cousins, and I feel like I play a lot like him. I'm a big body, but I like to shoot, I like to handle the ball and stuff like that. And then I like to model my game like Melo, but my coaches don't like that, so. They said you're like get in the post, bro. Like you're not like, get in the post, but yeah, that's I definitely feel like Boogie Cousin, a little bit of Dirk Nowitzki because I was more of a finesse player. I wasn't a really above the rim type of guy. I wasn't the quickest guy. I wasn't athletic, but for me it was a lot of finesse and IQ. That's kind of where I got my game from.
I would say with me. I think it's more the love of the game. I think it's crazy how like with any sport, it's like each year you play like it's a whole you get better pretty much, So you want to look at certain athletes, of course, that you want to pattern your game after. But I had a few. Like I'm a big Amari Stoudemire fan. I used to watch Amari Stoudemire all the time, bro, and the way he played and how aggressive he was and how above the rim type of player he was. I just love seeing it. But more than anything, bro, I think it was just more just me loving the game and want to make my own impact. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like play like as if nobody never seen me before. Like when you see me, you're gonna see a new type of player. Like a dude that's 6'8", that can jump, that can shoot, that can pass. It's like, oh, okay, like where the hell did he come from? So that was kind of the type of player I am. I pattern my game. It's more the love of the game, bro.
Also, your nickname is Space Cam.
Above
the rim.
Yes, sir.
Is that a movie with Tupac? Above the rim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good movie. Anyway, Joe, how about you, man? How did you pattern your game? Because I remember in high school you were tight end, and then you killed it defensively as well.
For sure. Now, it was crazy. Like I mentioned before, my mom kind of put us into sports and things like that. So when I was growing up, I'm gonna be 100% honest. We never really watched like sports. We wasn't watching the NBA, like the NFL, things like that. Like we were outside running around, playing street football, Pops and Roberts, doing that. And so when I got into football, it was my freshman year. I didn't really like look at highlights or see anybody. I was just trying to learn the game, So as time went on, playing, I just I started doing my study. I started seeing certain players. I started hearing about certain players. So, but one guy that when I was in college, I kept seeing was I love J.D. Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney, just speed, all that, finesse, hands, and could bend the corner. But things like that, the guys like that, I would love to, if I was still playing, love to, pattern my game after guys like that, like J.D. Clowney, the J.J. Watts, at defensive end. But also, I still love for my tight ends. I love my tight ends. I'm a big Niner fan, so shout out to George Kittle. He's another beast, guy who could do it.
Hey, Niner Nation in the building.
Guy who could do it on all ends.
I think I'm the only Raiders fan in this group, bro. Cam's
He's speaking facts, man. We're talking about, the best tight end.
Big brother. Let me tell you something. Let's get some game. He's playing on your arm, man. Ain't going for the night.
But yeah, that's those are some of the guys that I look up to.
Right.
For sure, for sure.
And then, so one of the questions I had to ask for you guys throughout your sports careers, right? How much was your support system? How much was the support system good for you guys while you guys were going through your high school, college careers, and even Cam right now during your professional career?
It's been. I would say support system is it's been good, but it has its challenges. Just because everybody can't attend everything, and I think that's what comes down to it. So it's hard to kind of really be in tune to certain things. It was definitely hard for me and my family when I played in Australia this last season because of the time difference. So like literally when everybody's going to sleep, I'm literally up playing a basketball game right now. So that was a tough situation to kind of really stay in tune with everything and playing in the G League. G League doesn't really get as much exposure as actual NBA games, so that was tough. I mean, you have to make the effort to kind of really watch the game. You know what I'm saying? So that really shows what your support system really does. It really, really does for you, and I'm a person that I rely on it. Yeah, I do rely on it, but at the same time, I don't, just because obviously my support system can't play the sport that I'm playing right now, or not say can't, but just they're not doing what I'm doing right now. If that makes sense, so it's hard to kind of really I'm trying to say, like, trying to really dictate if anybody's really there for you or not, so but from what I had, though, I had my brothers and my mom, my dad, and of course my wife, as you've seen it here, she's probably one of the biggest fan I ever met in my life, so she definitely takes care of a lot of my support system and a lot of the small things a lot of people don't see that's on the court and off the court, so having her on my side, it really has helped me a lot. She's been literally through the high school, through the college, and through the professional. So that's really my support system more than anything. My brothers, they try their best to support everything. They post on their social medias. They tune into the games when they got a chance to. Stay with my mom and my dad, whatever. But I know it's tough just because of the fact that I was in a whole other country. So, but besides that, I mean. It's been good, man. I mean, it's something to really have, because sports, man, it get hard, dude. It get really hard, and especially mentally, it's just tough, bro. You feel like it's almost to a point you feel like you're a robot out of times, and you don't want that feeling. You want to have people support you and tell you, like, hey, man, like, keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing, bro. Whatever, and man, like, I seen you do this, I feel like you can do that. I mean, I kind of shy away from people that kind of give me sort of advice because, like, damn, well, you're not really in my position right now, but I appreciate what you're giving me. I appreciate what you're saying to me. But besides that, man, I mean, it's been really good for me just to have people on my side and actually care about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So.
For sure. And same thing with you, Josh, man. How much has your support system helped you throughout your whole entire career?
It's been beyond important. It's been extremely helpful. I think sometimes it's a little bit different in like an Indian community, just because, like I was saying earlier, there's not a lot of us that go into sports and stuff like that, and so in our community, there's usually a lot of, you don't get much support because they want you to be the doctor, lawyer, engineer, specifics that Indian people want you to do, and they kind of say, don't spend your time on sports, focus on school. And so I think before me and my brother really made a name for ourselves, it was hard. Originally people were like, oh, what are you, like, you're wasting your time. Like, why are you doing all this? Like, you need to go do the, school stuff instead. So I think kind of how like Cam was saying is, you don't really know what I'm dealing with because you're not here. You don't know what it's like to do this every day. You don't know what it's like to wake up, go to weights, go to class, go to school, do work, go to practice for 3 hours, travel and deal with classes. So, I think for me, my family, my mom and my dad were definitely a huge support system. But I think my biggest support system was my brother. Just because he was living it every day with me. And so that's why I feel like with me and him, we're so transparent as far as how we felt and how, everything was. And we were kind of like, man, we're not going to, whoever wants to say, they can say what they want. Obviously like how Camps, we appreciate the love when, you try to give us advice. But if you're not really here living what we're living, you don't really understand how hard it really is. And that's why, it kind of irks me when people say, like, student athletes have it so nice, like student athletes have it so great, like this and that. It's like, yeah, we get perks, but the life that we live every day, it's a tough life. It's all fun and games, but you don't see what we do. You might see it on Fridays and Saturdays when we plan, but you don't see the Monday through the Thursday and the Sundays,
it's a lot that come with it. Being an
Yeah,
athlete.
exactly.
So
That's real. That's real.
Man, same thing with you, Joe, man. How much does the support system throughout your whole process?
yeah, support system for me is a very, very big thing. For you guys that know the Polynesian community, very, very tight knit community. So all my tongue is my mom, especially. But like Josh was saying, my little brothers were like my biggest main supporters. Every time I did something, they'd always, just compliment me, encourage me, like, look at big brother doing his thing. But so hearing that from my younger brothers, it just makes you want to go hard for your family and anybody behind you. But really, the support system has always been a huge part in everything I do, from sports to even the business. But very, very huge support system. Love it.
And like even for yourself, Joe, man, like you actually not just like the leader, right? You're the leader for a lot of our friend group, back in San Leandro. But all you guys, all the brothers went D1 for football.
They're doing their thing, it's
Amazing thing, bro. That's an amazing thing.
Mama, bro, that's something to be proud of, bro. For real, for real.
Big ups. No, and talking about like support system, right, guys? I think for each step of your journey, right, there's probably people who were there throughout each step, but even like now, like for Josh and Joe, like once you guys had to pivot, like kind of did you see like what was the shift in your support system? Like, did you figure out like hey, some people got to go because it's like toxic and like they were only with me for the ride when it's like I was popping and like I'm trying to figure out they wasn't really rock with me, or is it like you've been blessed to kind of have that support system throughout no matter what you're gonna do? Like kind of how have you guys been able to navigate that?
From personal experiences, I think everyone's there when, like you said, when you're popping, everybody's there, right? Everybody's kind of like, oh, that's my homie, that's this and that, all that type of stuff. But for me personally, like once I graduated in 2018, I finished playing. I wanted to pursue law school, really badly, and so my life switched from a social standpoint and a personal standpoint to the point where like these guys can probably attest to the fact that when you are playing with these people in college, these guys are literally your brothers. Like you see them every single day, you do everything with them, you live with them, you eat with them, you do everything with them, you see them all the time. And when I graduated, I was like, okay, like now I'm about to go to law school. All my homies, they're going back to Detroit, Memphis, wherever they came from. They went back home, and so I started school, and it was just me. Now it wasn't nobody that, I didn't have my best friend and my teammate to talk to every night and talk about our lives and how hard it is to do what we're doing, and and other life stuff. You don't have that bond anymore. And I think a lot of people were definitely there when everything was good, but once things starts to fall off, you don't have that same accountability from them anymore. And so, like I dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I still deal with mental health issues. And for me, I went through a period of deep depression as soon as my career ended, because, growing up, you play basketball for 20 years and then boom, it's done. And now you onto a different path. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. Shoot, at that point, I was hurt. And I was like, man, I messed up my knee. I messed up my face. I broke my nose and stuff. I was like, all right, I'm done anyway. So let's get over basketball. But it's different. You stop dribbling that ball. It's like, okay, well, how do I get through each day now? Usually I got to get up like, all right, man, I got to train. I got to get ready for next season. And so when those people aren't around to support you anymore, because for their benefit, yeah, this is my homie, this is my homie, he plays basketball, he does this and that. But now that I'm a law student, are you going to go around to your friends and be like, oh yeah, that's my homie, he's a law student, as the same way you was repping me as a basketball player and that type of stuff. So I think it definitely, the support does fall off once your career ends. Just from personal experiences, I would say. And I've definitely cut off a lot of people more recently than anything, just for my own positivity and my own mental health and focus on bettering myself. Because at the end of the day, man, you can really only count on yourself, right? At the end of the day. So that's really who you got.
Yeah, that's real right there.
For
Joe,
Oh,
in your experience, man.
No, yes. I think I feel like I have a special power where I could sense energy and sense people's, who the real ones are, and you can just feel that when you talk to someone. So like, I know who my day ones are from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I know the ones who's been there since, and I think of just knowing that, you know what I'm saying, and always keeping that in the back of the mind. That those guys were always there, and then when new people come around, you could be all lovey-dovey and, say what's happening, and try to network and stuff, but you always got to know who the main ones are. And I think of just keeping that, keeping it true and staying 10 toes with your crew is very important. But people like Josh said, people come and go, man. But you can't be thrown off by whatever anybody's trying to tell you, or trying to come in and tell you what to do with your certain business and your friend group or whatever. But just staying close and knowing who your real ones are, I think is very important. So, yeah.
Yeah, actually, Josh, you brought up a really good point, right? You talked about, you hit a depression when you decide to hang it up too, as well. And then this is for anyone, whether you face an injury or whether you guys decide to hang it up. How were you able to get over that the mental health problem?
Man, that's a deep discussion. So I don't think you ever truthfully do get over it, to be honest, with any mental health thing. I think you learn how to cope as you get older. You don't really recover from it, truthfully. I think I'm in a better space now than I was. As far as that part of my mental health went, I've dealt with other trauma in my life over the last couple of years, or last year, specifically the last couple of months, that, have caused another mental health thing. But I think, you realize a lot of things. It's one of the things where you kind of have to go through the cycle. It's not so you're not going to wake up and boom, you're not depressed no more, or you ain't got anxiety no more. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. I think, especially for athletes, it's very tough because there's a stigma that, we're masculine and we don't have to, feel our emotions or talk about our emotions. And it is tough, especially for males in general that aren't even athletes, to talk about their emotions. And so I'll give you an example. I talk to my little cousin every day. She's 13 years old. We've dealt with a lot of family trauma, like I said, over the last year or so with suicide and stuff. And so I talk to her every day and tell her, I'm a 6'9", 300-pound big dude. And if I can sit here and talk to you about my feelings, you can be open to me. And there's no such thing as a masculinity thing at that point. There's no point of being afraid of, I don't want people to think I'm not hard, or I'm not cool, or nothing like that. Like, man, I think if you can talk about your feelings, if you can talk about your mental health and what you're really feeling, you're the coolest person I've ever met. If you could do some stuff like that, it takes a lot of respect, a lot of heart to do that type of stuff. And that's one of the things that that I pride myself on is when I was younger and going through it, I didn't want to tell nobody what I was going through, and now I'm open about it. I can talk about my experiences. I can talk to my friends every day or my real friends and say, this is what I'm dealing with today. You know what I mean? I'm not cool today. I'm not good. So I think, like I said, just to kind of finish off, is that I don't think you truly heal. I think you cope with it and you kind of get better every day. That's kind of how it goes, because as your life goes on, man, you're going to deal with more stress. You're going to deal with more anxiety. You're going to deal with more trauma. It's not always going to be sweet. So I think you kind of just learn those types of therapeutic ways of coping with things and just being better.
No, you bring up a good point, man. I think I'm gonna just say this advice to anyone to really, in terms of mental health. Like, I've been seeing a therapist since I was 16, and like, to really talk to that, really talk it out, and really able to hash those childhood traumas that you come across. Writing in your journal, praying. Joe actually got me real big when I had my incident last November. It helped me get my mojo back, right? But it takes a strong individual to really seek that help when you may be going through something mentally, especially whether something that happened to you, or just like something that you love, and knowing that, man, the thing that's been a part of my life the whole entire time for years is coming to an end, And
I think, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think for athletes, I think a lot of athletes go through this mental health depression thing after their career's over because of like an identity crisis type thing, where you're known as a basketball player, football player, whatever it is, your whole life. And then once you're done, it's like, damn, like, what am I now? Who am I now? Type of thing. And so that's why I think it's really important. I honestly believe that, athletic programs with all the funding that we get, I think it's important that we should have mental health counselors included inside our programs and have people to talk to and not just, it's great to get out on the field or on the court and let out all your emotions, which is dope, but it's not always going to help us heal every day or work toward a better tomorrow, I should say. It might be a good thing for me to get off my mind today, but if I truly want to get better, those are the types of things I think that we need in our programs.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
I could chime in on it a little bit, but from my experience as well, bro, I've been mentally challenged since I left high school, so, it's something will pop up regardless, not to like kind of get over the stories, whatever, but I was at a point, like I said earlier, I was like, bro, I worked at Dollar Tree, and I was like pretty much one of the top seniors in high school, so people come to me, seeing me come to the cashier line, like, bro, what you doing here, like, that's mentally challenging. You know, like that's mentally like, well, damn, like I can't really express to you what I'm doing here. I'm just knowing I'm making do what do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm living my life. You know, I gotta live at the end of the day. You know, so it's a lot of challenges I went through, bro. Like last year, I mean, we breaking my ankle. I literally was that close to hanging it up, like hanging my shoes up. You know, like, and I went through a whole depression. Like I was changing my color of my hair, bro. Like I went from pink to brown to like anything to try to make me kind of like in a sort of kind of happy mode, but nothing happened. And on top of it, I got 2 kids, you know, so even being around them, you know, and not being so depressed and looking like, okay, what's wrong with dad? You know, what's wrong with him doing this, whatever. You know, it was hard, man. Like it's like, no lie, like me being where I'm from, bro. Like of course, like me from Oakland, bro, coming out of where the high school came out of. When I got drafted, undrafted and chose about Houston Rockets, I was at an all-time high, bro. At an all-time high, you know. So for me to come down to the point, like I'm here sitting in my living room with a broken ankle, you know, like that's mentally challenging, you know, because it's like, well, what happened? You know, what could I do differently? Like you go back and be like, oh, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know what I'm saying? Try to change what you coulda did differently. It's like, dude, like you can't change nothing. All you think you do is change about what's happening right now. You know, so that was my biggest thing in my depression. I was just like, man, like I gotta do like literally the small things to keep making me happy. So if I gotta go outside and go for a walk, if I go to take my kids, go to the park, I gotta do this little small things to kind of like keep my mind off of something that's really tearing me down apart inside and outside. You know, I just had to make sure I do the small things to help me with it. You know, so I had to make sure that I wasn't waking up like thinking about like, man, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna do this, do that, whatever. Like, and happily the opportunity came to my face, man. I met a great agent. I ended up choosing a different agent. Then I got an opportunity to go to Australia. So it was like, okay, man, like I tried my best to keep my mind off of certain things like that, and God happily to really work that blessing for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, definitely as what Josh was saying, man, like as an athlete and going through mental challenges, bro, it's the toughest thing you possibly go through. You know, actually, like recently, you got NBA players or football players speaking up about their depression. That's just happening just now, like the past like 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like this has all the other athletes that probably went through certain things even before it happened, like before K Love spoke about it, or DeMar DeRozan, or JJ Watt spoke about his depression as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy, man. Like that now the fact that we have to wait to pretty much for somebody to kind of say something just for the trend to really happen. You know what I'm saying? Like us men, you know what I'm saying? I know we looked at as being this little tough guy, we ain't got no emotions or whatever, man. Like, nah, dude, we're I won't say we're as sensitive, you know what I'm saying, but we do got feelings, you know what I'm saying? We do go through our certain problems, man. Like a lot of things a lot of men probably cannot take at that certain moment of time, you know what I'm saying? So it's I feel like if we don't do it, don't judge us, you know what I'm saying? If we can't take that sort of pressure, we can't take that certain moment of time, don't judge us because that's who we are. And just know the fact that we got feelings, we got other things to worry about as well too. You know, so I think a lot of people kind of go past that, like you're saying, Josh saying he's 6'9", 300 pounds. I'm 6'8", 250. You know what I'm saying? We stick out like sore thumbs. You know, so obviously when you see us, you know, you gonna automatically assume that, oh man, I know you play basketball, dude. I know you play football. I know you do this and do that. Like, nah, bro. Like Joe, man, nah, bro. I'm starting my own clothing line. Josh, he's trying to get to law school. You know, like, no, don't judge me because of what I look like, my persona. No, judge me because you know what person type I am. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see me, of course, you're going to automatically assume, like, he got to be a basketball player. Like, no, bro, I'm just a father and a husband. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me from a different person, like, from what I am, what I look like, you know? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's hard to kind of cope through that, you know, it's because we're men, you know, whatever. But, man, we all got feelings. We all got certain things we want to do besides just looking like an athlete.
No, that's real. And kind of with that, right, you know, you talk about mental health. I think it's important to note it's like the person got to be on point in order for you to perform, right? If you're just not in it and you're not feeling well, it's like you can't perform. So I think it's important for people to realize, like, you guys are human beings. Like, literally, you guys are human beings. And so kind of other question was, right, just in general, like, do you feel like as athletes and kind of just human beings, like, you guys have put more pressure on yourself, or do you feel like you face like more external pressure? Like, kind of just throughout your career, just kind of even currently, kind of what do you guys feel like the pressure comes from?
I think there's definitely a lot of pressure, you know, being athletes and college athletes at that, you know. Just to start the conversation, not everyone comes from the same financial background. Some people come from areas where, yeah, they go into college, you know, it really means everything. It's really do or die because, you know, their family back home might not be able to pay for food or provide for their family. Their mom might be working 2 jobs, or dad working 2. You know, dad might not be around, or whatever it might be. You know, and so for them, yeah, like some guys, it's college, and you know, I got my scholarship, I'm done, and boom, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do after that. But for some people, it's like, I really got to do this college stuff and I got to get right to go pro because I got to make this money for my family and I got to do well for my family. I got to provide for my family. And I think there's a lot of pressure that goes on with that. And then, I think, man, if you want to talk about pressure, I think Cam's a perfect example of what happened with him at Oregon State and having to leave. Just think how many, like he said, how many people were saying, hey, he's a top 100 recruit, all that stuff. And then now you're working at Dollar Tree. How much pressure was probably on him? Like, bro, you just disappeared. Like, what happened? That type of stuff, So, like I said, everyone's background is different. I feel like, that persona and that image of being an athlete, it comes with a lot of pressure because you're supposed to be something at that point. We are put on a pedestal. No matter what we want to say, we are put on a pedestal at the end of the day. Yeah. So when we're not performing, I'm sure we've all heard about guys that go on, play on sports teams and college teams and they don't get much playing time. They're like, bro, you're not even that good. How do you play college basketball? That type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So then it becomes the question like, damn, bro, not only do I want to play college basketball, but I want to prove to people that I'm here for a reason type thing, So it comes with a lot of pressure. It's not the average day in the life of a regular person.
For sure. Cam and Joe, you guys got anything to add?
No, that's real. Go ahead, Cam.
Oh, but shoot, man, my pressure, man, where can I start? I think more than anything, just being from Oakland, for real. I mean, being from where we from. I mean, Joe from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nothing like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've been around the killings, the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? We surrounded by it. So that biggest thing, you want to get out of it. So you're gonna do whatever you possibly can to get your family out of it, get yourself out of it. So I'm gonna make sure everything I do is right. But what anything, man, like how kind of Josh kind of chimed in about my whole Oregon State situation, and it's like this being that top guy, it's like, well, damn, like what happened to you, dude? Like, well, it's like, man, ain't nothing happened to me. I just got to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you go for a prime example, like if you go see LeBron, you want to see LeBron do some LeBron shit, bro. Like I'm gonna excuse my language, but you want to see LeBron do some LeBron stuff, bro. Like if you go to a game and LeBron over there catting, like he's not playing to the certain potential, you're like, why am I here? So I think that's kind of the same persona or same pedestal they put on any type of other athlete. Like if somebody seen Josh go play or see Joe play, Joe get 3 sacks or whatever, Josh going for 30, whatever, like, okay, like, yeah, we want to see that. That's why we're here. But if you don't do it, is you gonna judge me from it? Like you gonna take that away from my persona, you take it away from the type of person I am. Maybe I had a bad game. Maybe I got some besides basketball really bothering me, right. So that's the pressure that we really, really deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be always glitz and glam, you know what I'm saying? Like we go through actual personal life stuff too, So but I think the pressure wise, man, is just if you want to show the person that you really are and you deserve to be here, you got to learn how to carry that torch. Simple as that. And that's something you got to learn on your own. You can't really just be like, oh, you could try to find yourself and try to help somebody help you doing that. But if you want to prove yourself and like, I'm Joe Fotu, I'm Josh Cajon, I'm Cam Oliver, like, no, that's a torch you carry on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to do that on your own and learn how to wiggle your way through it and carry that own pressure on yourself as an athlete, man. I personally feel that way. You can't be no great athlete on no pressure. Simple as that. And you can't be no great clothing designer or a lawyer without no pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna always be pressure on regardless of where you are, what you do. So I mean, it doesn't matter how you handle it. As being a man, I mean, well, of course we can't handle it. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Man.
I think one thing that we need to really add to this, right, is the level of like people need to give a level of respect to athletes and what they go through, right? Because like we said, Cam, we talked about this before. If you're in this position, I bet you couldn't handle like the position that most of you guys been through. Just being human, but still adding like you're talking about full plate of like practice, weight room, classes, and even games, and trying to be prepared for that. So again, I gotta say a lot of respect to you guys and what you guys were able to do, and what you guys still continue to do. Like Josh, I know law school is not an easy route. That is not an easy thing. Are you in year 1 or year 2?
I'm in year 2 right now.
Year 2? No, congratulations on that, man.
That's what's up, man.
That's a huge thing. You had to make the necessary pivot for yourself. But this is for all you guys, right? When you guys had to make that pivot, what was it that was going through your head that was like, all right, now this is it. Well, I got to make this pivot for what's best for myself. Because Josh, you had the opportunity to play overseas, right?
Yeah, I had a couple of opportunities to play in like Spain and Italy and stuff like that. But for me, it was kind of like the thing where I wasn't getting like a high big time league or something overseas. It was going to be something small, and it's a great opportunity for me to do it. But for me at that time, I was more motivated to like I told you guys earlier, my parents are, come from immigrant families. My parents moved here and did hard work, labor jobs growing up. So it was like, I could go play in 2-3 years and make a little bit of bread, but for me, it was just more of a thing like, okay, well, if I spend these 2-3 years go playing out there, and I know I'm not going to go to the NBA, I'm not going to go, pursue that area. None, I could spend those 2-3 years really just grinding this education real quick and then make a lot of money once I'm done with this law school stuff, And, it's not money for me to be rich and flex, not like that. It's more about I want to give this money to my parents and for them to know, like, all that time you sacrificed, all the time you was working in the fields when I was 3, 4, 5 years old, going on trucks across the country. Now you get to live this life that you wanted to live. Let me do the work. Let me grind it out now. And it's kind of like paying back sacrifice. So for me, I know the ball was gonna stop dribbling for me one day. It stops for everybody one day. No matter how far you get, whatever you do, it's gonna stop for everybody. No one plays until forever. So I just kind of knew in my head, I was like, yeah, I could go play. I could have it on my resume and do that stuff, but for me, it was like, what is that resume for me at this point? Just to tell people that I played overseas for a year or two. It was more of like a priority thing for me. It's like, okay, yeah, I could do that, or I'm gonna grind it out and I'm gonna just get this money and take care of my family.
It's a very mature outlook, bro, for real. Like, and that's hard to make. Like, when you graduated, right? You're 22, 21, 22 when you finished school.
I graduated when I was 21. Yeah.
Yeah. So like to make that decision at the age of 21, that's most like. We're going to not do comparisons, but I will say, like, that's a hard thing to do at the age of 21, knowing that you have to make the right decision for the rest of your life. And for Joe, for you as well, man, you were able to coach 3 years over at University of Illinois.
Yeah.
And, but now, like, bro, like, tell us a little bit about that route, when you got into technical recruiting, as well as now you're doing Frontline, and what's the message behind Frontline?
Man, it's when I was at Illinois, and I knew, that my time was up right after I finished playing my senior. I did the whole pro day thing and got a little tryout with the Niners for a little bit, and it just it didn't work for me. So I didn't want to keep pursuing something that I know my heart is not in. So I hung them up, and the opportunity came up where Lovey, offered me the GA spot, and right on spring, I was watching spring practice. He walks up and offered me the GA job right there, Lovey Smith, and I'm like, hell yeah, let me do this. I told myself I always want to be around sports. If I'm not playing it, maybe a sports broadcast or something like that. Be involved in sports. But he gave me the opportunity, and I was like, man, let me see what I could do with coaching, and did that for three years and learned so much. And after that finished up, I had a few interviews. I interviewed for the D-line job at Hawaii with Coach Rolo. I did, I had a few interviews with some big time D1s where Lovey just made a call, and being so young, I was 22 at the time. I was 22, and guys were giving me a shot, and I was like, what, that's fine. I think coaching will always be there, down the road. So that's when I left, after I finished my master's in Illinois last May. I came back out here, and I wanted to do something different. So that's how I got into tech recruiting, and that just trying out different shoes, and went into the tech recruiting. That was cool, dope, and now I'm here with the Frontline mentality, and that's been the whole process, that I built from every experience that I've been through, from a little kid to now, and I put that all together and just made the Frontline mentality, and that's what it is today, and just trying to build from there. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a sweater, bro, for sure.
It's good, Mike. I'll take care of everybody in here, for sure.
Appreciate you.
Good. Yep.
It's funny because like you started that with people like with your own crew, like your own friends, and one of that is actually including my older brother Yvonne. I'm gonna say it out there. Shout out to Big Gay.
Yep.
But yeah, for real, like no. So the thing is, like earlier you were talking about how important it is to have those close people and individuals around you. Exactly. Now you started a brand and a lifestyle basically. And a brand around with some of the closest people you have.
Day one. Oh my God.
That got to be the best feeling, bro. That got to be the best feeling.
It really is. And we just getting started, man. I can't wait till that day when we pull up to Greece on a yacht with the homies, and everybody's, they just thankful for the friendship, the circle we have. But this whole Frontline mentality thing, it really did spark up with my boys. Tony, Yvonne, Jamal, like my main circle still. Like I said earlier. Knowing your day ones, and always remembering that. So I know who my day ones are, and we wanted to start something. The Frontline mentality was born through my circle, and now it's here, man, and we just getting started. So Bless
we're
That's a good feeling, bro.
we're excited to see where this takes off, man. Because for real, I have to tell everyone that's watching this live stream, like over the past few months, he's had so much momentum, like with sales and sales. Like, bro, I'm like, man, this is crazy. So
We launched, we just launched it April 25th, so it's been nothing but like hella love, since April, and we're excited to see where it's going, where it's gonna go for sure.
most definitely, brother. Most definitely. And then, so, again, we're kind of getting towards the time where we're going to wrap up the live stream right now. But, for each one of you guys, what is some advice that you would tell people, that have to, when they have their idea of their plan A, their career, and what they want to get into, whether it's sports or whether it's or like original career. Like my dad wanted us to be doctors. He didn't take that well when we said we didn't want to be doctors, but not even nurse. But what is it that for you guys? What's the advice you would give to someone that's planning that has to make a pivot with their career?
Go ahead.
Okay. Honestly, man, it's anybody that chimed in on this live, bro, we're looking at a prime example right now. From Josh and Joe, how they. I mean, y'all really just kind of taught me, because I still have yet made that pivot, to kind of turn things around and hang things up, because I'm still actually going with my plan A still, you know what I'm saying? So actually learning from y'all, like, bro, we wake up. I mean, everybody say you learn something new every single day, so waking up and listening to y'all and talking to y'all, man, like I really kind of gave me the courage and the endurance that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it does not happen, work out for you for your plan A, bro, you can turn and pivot turn around and make something work for yourself, man. So, I mean, it's a prime example, bro. Like with Joe, I mean, I always watched you play football, bro. I watched all your brothers. I grew up with your brothers, you know what I'm saying? So seeing you, and I always thought like, bro, like, nah, they're football players. You know what I'm saying? Like they fit the description. They're football players. They all play football. So to see you turn around and, and get your masters, bro, and start your own clothing brand, especially with your day ones, bro, like that's probably the best thing I could probably hear today. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Josh, how I play, we play against each other in high school and college or whatever, and now you turn things around and be a lawyer, bro. Like it's possible to do so. I think as a man, do it as an athlete, it's always that 50-50 like, oh, do I want to do this? Should I do this? So I'm at that point, in my life, that's why I got a hair with me, and to do this whole A game thing, whatever, and turn that around. I told him, like, bro, I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on. I said, I'm going to do it just because you're my brother, bro. Me and Hair been friends since 6th grade, bro, and still rocking to this day, so it's hard to kind of to make that pivot. But if you got the right people around you, you know what I'm saying, you got the right circle around you, and they encourage you and give you the right advice, man, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, man, don't be shy away from it. Like, I know you're a basketball player, I know you do this now, whatever, but hey, man, like, make sure you invest yourself into your plan B, just because the ball will stop dribbling. You know what I'm saying? The ball will stop eventually. So, but from my experience, bro, I mean, anybody that does chimed in on this, and watch this live, I'm more than proud of y'all, bro. More than anything, and that's y'all gave me the courage and the endurance of the fact that I can do this, bro. I really can.
So that's real, bro.
That's love, Cam.
I appreciate you, saying that too. That means a lot, coming. I think for me, just on a personal note, to see Cam like where he's at now. Like, of course, I don't think me and Cam ever knew each other on a personal note before this, but I even remember during the Nevada game when we was at the free throw line, I literally looked at you. I was like, "You remember me, bro?" And he was like, "Yeah, I remember you. We played at high school stuff." So like, coming a long way. You see those types of things. Like, I have the utmost respect for you to, whatever you're doing, and I've seen, I heard about the stuff that you went through, and even having children at a young age and doing that stuff is a very tough thing with basketball. So, I definitely appreciate you, telling us that for real. Just to kind of answer your question here, but as you guys can tell, I'm a pretty big person on mental health. I've been talking about the whole thing.
I love that.
For me, I personally think that any person that has a plan A, to invest in your own mental health. No matter what you do, like, if you want to play basketball and you stop, whatever, just make sure you actually look after yourself. Make sure you're looking after the things you got to put in time. You got to study this stuff sometimes. You got to research it. You got to know about these types of things. Because like I said, we're not taught to deal with these types of things when we're younger. We don't learn this in school. We learn through life experiences. And so if we can, deal, like Cam is still in this plan A, like he's talking about, but for each person that's going through it, just know that, you know, there's going to be a time where it stops and I got to figure out what I want to do next. Am I going to be okay? Maybe, maybe not. You might not be okay mentally. You might feel like you in the wrong, or you might feel like everything's gone now. You know, whoever I am is no longer there. But I feel like personally, if you invest in your mental health, it doesn't matter what you do, bro. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what you do, you know, any type of success, fame. If you have your mental health right, bro, you will live a good life. Plain and simple. Because there's plenty of people that are out there that have the fame, that have the money. Like he was talking about Kevin Love and DeRozan. They got all that stuff, but they ain't happy, bro. You heard what they said in the interviews. They haven't truly been happy in years. And they're NBA All-Stars, you know, future Hall of Famers. So to me, that's my biggest thing is, you know, when I was younger, it's all about getting money and being cool and being famous. But now I've kind of learned, it's like, man, I'd rather have no eyes on me. I'd rather be on my own. I'd rather learn how to be happy. I'd rather learn how to cope with my stuff that I'm dealing with every day. Because if you can't do that, bro, nothing else ever around you really matters.
Hey, preach it, bro. Preach it. Happiness is key. And you know, before Joe let you speak, man, happiness is a key thing to really have a quality life. And I just want a good quality life, like for real. Like I was telling Adi, right? You know, like I would rather make $80,000 because I'm trying to go law school route too as well, IP lawyer, right? I was telling Adi, like I would rather make 80,000 doing 80,000 a year doing this as A game than maybe being 150 working as IP lawyer and in-house somewhere. And like, call me crazy for giving up that money, but I understand, like, no, sometimes I may not be happy with that route.
I mean, just, you know, you talking about even about the money, you know, I always tell people that bring up like scenarios like that is if you do the $150,000 job versus or $8,000 versus $150,000, if you're doing the $80,000 for 20 years versus doing the $150,000 for 6 or 7 and quitting, you're still making more money off the $80,000 a year.
Thank you. Exactly.
Like, if you're not happy, you're going to end up quitting. Yeah, you're going to have hope for 3-4 years, but be miserable. You're going to treat your spouse like crap. You're going to treat your children like crap. You're going to treat yourself like crap.
Nope.
So what are you getting off making $70,000 more a year for 5-6 years before you quit and end up doing something else?
Yeah. And like for real, man, like, and then again, you know, hurt people, right? When coming talk from a mental health aspect. So thinking is, you know, if you're unhappy and then you start treating those around you, bro, I can't afford to do that. I can't afford that to do that to my girl. I can't afford that to do like to my close friends like I have here right now. And I can't. So again, you know, you're right. Continually work on, like my man Marshawn Lynch said, work on your mentals for real, because that's an important thing. It's an important thing to have a quality life, especially us men. So that way we can be the best men for ourselves and for our families.
Sure.
No, that's real. I think the guys hit it on like right on the target, man. With you know, just being. I think for me, doing what you love. Like I honestly, you have to like find in yourself, like, man, you know, when it comes to the mental issue, all that, like you got to know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you got to know, you know, what's best for Joe, what's best for Josh, Cam. At the end of the day, you know, and not to be like that, you know, to anybody, but fuck everyone else. You know what I'm saying? It's you and you. It's you and you. You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect to the brothers, to the moms, and everybody, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's gonna go in that casket by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So do everything for yourself. You know, for anybody that chimed in here, man, the frontline mentality. Came up with the mission statement, with meaning someone who humbly hustles to accomplish one mission, one goal. You know, without ever compromising what you stand for. So, you know, morals, values, all that, man. I think that plays into it. You know, with yourself, when you got to know exactly what you want to do, man, and sticking to it. Don't let nobody play you along the process. You know what I'm saying? And just go. I don't know what to say, man, no more. I'm getting juiced talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm fired up too, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I keep on saying Joe needs to be a motivational speaker because like last November, bro, like within 20 minutes of having a conversation with Joe at Lucky's Donuts. Shout out to Lucky's Donuts over in San Angelo. Like, you know, he helped me get my mojo back. And it was just a simple conversation, man. And, you know, you really helped me rebound. So then, you know, that's an important aspect of having close people around you and, you know, helping, man. So appreciate that.
Yeah, keep your circle small, man. Before y'all do anything, bro, keep your circle small.
Yep.
You got new faces. Make sure you dissect them new faces. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For real, keep your circle small, man. Keep working.
Yeah, what we do last weekend? It was me, you, and Marcus, people that we've known since we're 11 years old, over in Long Beach. Small circle, and the closest ones, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
So that's important, man. Hey, so again, we're hitting close to the hour mark. Josh, Joe, Cam, I want to say thank you so much for coming on to this live stream. This is our first YouTube live stream. I appreciate you guys taking time because it really does mean a lot. It shows that you guys be able to tell your story. But this is what A Game's about. A Game Media is about for people, true, authentic storytelling, right? But the universal language of excellence is A Game, where you guys bring your A game out no matter what you do and be able to use your words. And that's something that my mom tells me as a kid. Use your words, right? Now we provide a platform for people to do the same for you guys. So I want to say thank you so much for even coming on here. Can I, guys, can people get a hold of you guys? What's your IG handles, social media?
My Instagram is just J Kellum, my last name 33.
All right. My IG, Frontline Fo. All one word, Frontline FO.
Perfect.
Yep, and mine's Space Cam on IG. I ain't got no Twitter or nothing like that. I mean, try to stay away from social media, but I do got an Instagram right now.
So that might be the coldest bro I've ever heard. Like Space.
Appreciate it, bro.
That's tough.
Like, wow,
It's a
bro.
cool
I
nickname.
even got it tatted on me. That's how clean it is, bro.
Dude.
That's legit, bro. That's legit for sure.
And
Hey Joe, you guys might need a collab, man. I think Space Cam and Frontline got some collaboration on some apparel coming up.
Hey,
Let me know, bro.
Hey, before this live stream stops, I have to say one thing. Happy birthday to my baby, Leia. I love you, girl. I have to give you a little shout out.
Happy birthday, Leah.
Happy birthday.
All you guys know her. She's been good people. So happy birthday to her. She turned 26, and shout out to moms. She's actually probably the reason why this is even started because it's helped me have be able to build out.
Love you, mom.
Yeah, so.
And also, guys, I'm gonna reach out to you guys, get you guys the sizes. You know what I'm saying? I want to get you guys a hoodie for sure. You know what I'm saying? If y'all
For
choice,
sure, bro. For sure. I need that.
Much love.
that way.
Hey man, I was gonna throw a Frontline, but I don't think I do it right.
Much love. But no, guys, it's a pleasure having you guys on. I think a lot of gems are dropped. Definitely follow these guys. And again, this is definitely not the last time we're collaborating on content. This is just the first of many. So I look forward to doing more of these, man. I think we need this.
Appreciate
People need
you,
to hear
Adi,
this
bro.
stuff.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Hey, man, much love to you guys.
Love.
All right, bro.
Okay, guys.
All right, Joe. Take it easy.
All right, y'all.
Yep.